Okay, so we'll start showing you how we do this. In case you've never done a brisket, you take off this hard fat. That's the first thing you remove, is the hard fat. You don't want to leave that on there because it won't break down through the cooking process, and won't leave much there for the or it won't be edible really. So as you can see, we take quite a bit. Actually, this one isn't too bad. Some actually have quite a bit of hard fat, where, like I say, this one isn't bad at all. Once we get this done, then we'll work on the other side, and I'll show you how to trim that up and trim the rest of the brisket. So hopefully one day you'll be able to smoke one at your place and let others enjoy your hard effort and work. Not that it's hard, but it does take a little bit of effort and practice. There we go. We got all that hard fat out of there. A little more right there. Cut that out. Okay. Trim off some of this. You can see most of the silver skin here. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Is pretty well gone. So we won't need to spend a lot of time on that. Okay. All right, now let's see here. Let's try it this way. One thing you want to make sure you have is a good sharp knife. That's probably the most crucial part, trimming up a brisket. Okay. Let's flip this baby over. So now you can see this side of the brisket. It's got all this good fat on it. Trim that off. So the good fat, we want to leave it about a 1/4 inch thick or so. Just kind of taking off the top edge of it. And you can kind of feel with your knife, with some practice, on how thick your fat layer is. Just kind of follow the grain of the meat there and trim it down. That will, as you put your seasoning on there, what this is doing is getting off this kind of layer of that's been dried through the packing process. Take that off, and then it allows that flavor to penetrate down through there. There's a little bit of hard fat on this end too. We'll take that off. This is a 17.5 pound brisket, I believe. By the time we're done, we'll probably have eliminated probably 3 pounds of fat. Again, you don't want to take it all, because this is the top side, when you put it on the smoker, and you want that fat to be able to render and penetrate down into the meat. So we're looking pretty good. All right. Now, if you go and get this one, was purchased at a restaurant supply house, and the decal, which is what they call a extra piece of meat that kind of folds over top of this, has already been removed. That'll allow for more even cooking, so you don't finish up one side while the other side still has hours to go. All right, I think we're getting close. One other thing to watch for is making sure it's trimmed up so that it's has a fairly nice shape to it. So on this one, you can see, we'll cut that off. Okay, now we're good. Make sure there's a piece of fat. We need to get that out of there. So take this last piece off. Put that in there. Okay. So now one of the things that you can do with all this extra fat that I've removed is to put it in a pan, throw it in the smoker, and kind of let the tallow melt down. And then when you go to wrap your brisket at a certain point during the cooking process, nope, don't eat that, no. You can use that tallow to as another way to maintain your moisture level. So it's up to you. You don't have to. When you wrap it, you could put a little beef broth in there if you want, anything like that. So there we are. Double check this right here. It's pretty thick. Actually, we're going to get that out of there. Again, like I say, a sharp knife is crucial. Keeps you from, number one, cutting your fingers off, because it slides a whole lot easier into the meat. And then the other reason is because it makes your cutting a whole lot easier, obviously. That actually goes in there quite a ways. There we go. Now we're getting there. Okay. So as you can see, it looks like there's some meat on there, which there is, but most of it's just that hard, thick fat. So what I'll do is I'll trim off the meat that's good. I'll trim that off before I dispose, or you put the fat in for the tallow. Okay. So one of the things about seasoning a brisket, it is beef, so you can use some pretty substantial flavoring if you like. The true Texas way, and the way I like to do it, is simply with just salt and pepper, and do it that way, because I think you get more meat, the beef flavor, and that's what you want to celebrate, since the beef is somewhat of a expensive piece of meat versus pork. So what we'll do, we're going to get our salt. We're going to do this very liberally, so don't freak out when you see it. And I use a coarse grain salt on this. Same with my black pepper. I use a coarse grain black pepper. Put that on there, nice and even. All right. Now what we'll do is pat that kind of in there a little bit. Not too much. There we go. Then we flip this over. And this is where the fun comes in, where the flavor comes into the meat, really. So we can put salt on here. And that one's empty. So we have another one here. For this, I use kosher salt or sea salt. I like them because they don't have any iodine in them. They haven't been overly processed. Much better for the, I think, the less chemicals in your body, the better. I think we've all been pickled enough over the years. Put this on there. So we get down there. Okay, that's pretty well covered up. Now again, this brisket won't go on until tomorrow morning, and I'm going to plan on a 20 to 24 hour cook. So let me get my saran wrap. We're going to wrap this baby overnight. Let that meat really absorb all the goodness. So we get our saran wrap here. Okay. Then we're going to place our brisket on there. Put that bad boy right there. Now we'll bring enough wrap. Totally encase it. Now what this will do is, it's actually going to be like a little brine. It'll soak into that meat. It'll keep the meat flavorful during the cooking process, and or not flavorful, but moist. Because it's, like I say, it's a long cook. So there we have it. And this will go into the fridge overnight until about 7 tomorrow morning, 6, 7 tomorrow morning. I'll throw it on the grill and we'll leave it on, like I say, 20 to 24 hours. It'll be all ready to go for when everybody shows up. So enjoy your Saturday night.